I'm going through, nobody really understands. Well, I've been kicked, well, I've been down, but I live to fight another round. Yeah, I stood my ground, and I'm stronger now. Well, I keep fighting, I won't be silent. So many chapters in my life that still need writing. I just keep driving, keep my eyes on the horizon, knowing soon I'm gonna find that silver lining. Just like Daniel and the lions, David and Goliath. The devil says I'm done, but I won't buy it. Well, I'm surviving. Have you ever been forgotten about or left behind? You wanted to run, decided to stand and fight. You played the fool, you've been abused. You might not have the thing to prove, but I hate to lose. So I tell you what I'm gonna do. Well, I keep fighting, I won't be silent.
Oh, for Christ's sake. Keith Picard. Hi, Keith.
Hey, Rudy, how's it going?
We're just on a live right now.
You're just all alive?
Yeah, just getting on now.
Oh, you're on live. Oh. Okay, I'm going to go to it and listen to it.
Okay, I'll call you back after the show.
Yeah, okay, boss. See you later.
Okay.
So many chapters in my life that still need writing. I just keep driving, keep my eyes on the horizon, knowing soon I'm gonna find that silver lining. Just like Daniel and the lions, David and Goliath. The devil says I'm done, but I won't buy it. Well, I'm still fighting. I just keep fighting. Well, I'm still fighting. I won't be silent. So many chapters in my life that still need writing. I just keep driving, keep my eyes on the horizon, knowing soon I'm gonna find that silver lining. Just like Daniel and the lions, David and Goliath. The devil says I'm done, but I won't buy it. The devil says I'm done, but I won't buy it. Well, I'm still fighting.
Where is my cup? I don't know. Where is my cup? Here is my cup.
Circle K presents the new summer road trip game. You can win over 1.5 million instant prizes.
Wow. That's a lot of prizes.
$25,000 cash.
That's a lot of prizes. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, share this out there. We're starting at 6 o'clock. At 6 o'clock, I'll begin my ramble. So share, ladies and gentlemen. Really? Really?
It's in your hands.
Really?
Now look around you. Our financial systems have been hijacked by a generation of thieves. While you're working harder and harder for less and less, the game is being rigged against you. They're turning all of us into virtual slaves. Looters, at the heart of our financial system, are price-fixing our most precious resources. Food, water, energy, gold, even the value of money itself is being siphoned away by high-level crooks in a giant mushrooming conspiracy of unstoppable corruption. They're robbing billions of people of trillions of dollars a year, folks. There is no need for austerity measures. There is no need for financial suffering. No need for poverty. There is no scarcity. We are simply the victims of a robbery of unimaginable proportions. We have been fed a lie so vast it oppresses all of humanity. The truth is, there is more than enough to go around. 60 years ago, productivity was increasing so fast, they predicted by today, entire families could live comfortably on the income of just one provider, working only 10 hours a week. They wondered what we'd do with all of our spare time. What happened to that dream? Turns out they were right. What took a full work week back then can be done in just 10 hours today. We have technologies that multiply our efforts 1,000-fold and connect us in ways they never imagined. We are now 100 times richer than in that great heyday of the 50s. We are heirs to a great bounty of prosperity. 70 trillion in the U.S. alone. Over $200,000 for every man, woman, and child. The only reason we don't experience this wealth is because it's being siphoned away by a corrupt criminal class. They loot through giant corporations, raising prices, lowering wages, stealing the fruits of our productivity. Where once whole families prospered with just one provider, now both parents work, delivering 8 times the productivity but struggling to make ends meet. They control the media using hot-button social issues to divide us, brother against brother, so we fight each other while they loot our sacred institutions. They make us fear too big to fail banks collapsing, but if they did, we'd suddenly recover the 8 times our income that's being siphoned away every single day. Don't give yourselves to these crooks who abuse you and enslave you, who steal your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, and what to feel. Let us burn these leeches off our backs. Let us replace the corrupt systems with better systems that benefit everyone. Let us reclaim the fruits of our productivity. Let us share our prosperity. We can do this now. We are the creators, and when we come together, we have the power to create whatever future we want.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are you? And welcome back to the broadcast. So how many got? How many got? 5 in here that I can see. I don't know how many. I'm hooked up to. Just let me make sure this is. I'm hooked up to Facebook, and I'm hooked up to YouTube, and I'm hooked up to X. So we're running 3 different platforms at the same time now on StreamYard. Carolyn, how are you? Canadian Patriot. Are you guys on? Okay, that's Facebook. So Facebook comments are coming in, and we have YouTube comments are coming in. Canadian Patriot is there. How are you doing, guys? How are we doing, guys? How are we doing out there? So let's see. We are live on Facebook. We are live on Facebook. I will put it into the Ruddi Bruce broadcast group. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've got lots to talk about today, and the sun is right in my face, kind of thing here. So this is going to be interesting live broadcast, to say the least. So, my topic today that I'm going to put out right out there is our standards in Canada regarding our products. Now, I'm expanding this because this topic. I mean, was gonna talk about the cars marketplace, the marketplace of cars, but I'm going to broaden that scope, and I'm going to explain why. There's been reports coming in, and I'm sure some of you have seen these lives about the food. Whether you're getting a rubber watermelon or some kind of a hip fucking type of whatever, and it's not food, it's something else. It's ice cream that's not melting. It's all kinds of this different kind of thing going on here. And these videos have been popping up about, this food that is not food. It's something else. Okay. Now, this, I mean, you've got to be looking at the standard here. I mean, of what is allowed to be put into the marketplace for Canadians and what isn't. Okay. Like, where does this start and end? I mean, like when they start to put, you know, food that isn't food on the market, okay, and they're expecting you, the Canadian, the consumer, to eat this stuff. I mean, like, really? I mean, I can't imagine this stuff tasting good to begin with. I can't imagine, you not noticing that there's a big difference with this food, okay? And even magnets sticking to chicken, okay, in the supermarket, okay? There's a lot of these videos floating around that are like that, okay? This food is not food, okay? It's made to look like food, but it isn't food, okay? Not to the kind of standard that we're used to as far as, normal broccoli and normal normal, you know what I mean? It's like grown and, edible and supposed to be healthy for you and stuff like that, right? Well, there's a problem because they're pumping this shit out there and people are taking a notice of it, and they're making a video of it. And when they're making a video of it, the video is not lying. I mean, it don't look like, I mean, it looks like, you would have bought that from a store or something, but it ain't food. Okay. It is garbage. Okay. It is not food. Okay. And yet this is what they're putting out in the public, to consume. Okay. So where is the standard? What is going on? Okay. Then there's been reports about they want to come after your chickens and claim it's some kind of a bird flu. Okay. Like, how much lying are we going to tolerate here? Okay. So then, getting on to the cars, I took mine in today to get safetied. Okay. Only to find out that it's got too much rust on it. The rockers, okay, are rusty. Okay. Granted, the sides rusty, the doors are at the bottom are rusty, you know. And then I also learned that these Dodge Caravans are unibody. A unibody. I'm not a mechanic, okay? I'm a trucker. I'm a driver, okay? I'm not a mechanic. I don't pretend to be a mechanic. I have some awareness about how things work. regarding the engine. I can Mickey Mouse around a little bit and sometimes save the day. Okay. But as far as all this crap that we've got out on the streets, as far as they call cars, are just another piece of blob to me. Okay. You get in it, you start it, you drive it, and you park it, and there you go. That's what you want a vehicle to do, right? You don't plan on getting into a vehicle and once you're on the street, you plan on getting into an accident. That doesn't happen that way, okay? Right? You go and you drive down the road and you get to where you want to go, you pick up what you want to pick up or whatever the case, and then you drive back home. And as long as that fucking car is going to do that, what the fuck is the problem? Okay? So then we get into it. Because I have a guy in SGI who's kind of the overseer of this department, the mechanical fitness thing. And we got into this. So, what it boiled down to was this: if the van gets into an accident, okay, if the van gets into an accident, the integrity of the vehicle is compromised because the rocker panels are rusted, okay? Because it's a unibody, okay? Okay. So then let's go down that road. Let's go down that theory, okay? That these corner panels have to be replaced, okay? If they're replaced, you're cutting out that section of the metal, and then you're tapping in new sections of the metal, okay? And you're going to turn it up to make it look nice, like it was brand new kind of thing, right? So after doing that, the question for me is the integrity still compromised because it was cut out and put back in, like to make it look nice? Okay, is the integrity in that area that they just cut out and replaced? Is it as strong as brand new? Okay, so let's go into it a little further. They're talking about the integrity that if you get into an accident, they're concerned about the occupants, okay, of the vehicle. They want that vehicle to break away and all that kind of shit and blah, blah, blah. Well, what about a guy on a motorcycle? There's no integrity around him, okay? On a motorcycle, okay? You're on a two-wheel vehicle, okay? You're still on a vehicle. You're still going down the road. You're still going at the same speed, if not faster, than the other guy. But you got no protection around you, okay? On a motorcycle. Hell, there ain't even a seatbelt. Okay? So now they're talking about the integrity of you being in a car. You understand what I'm saying? This is a regulation they've come up. They didn't have this before 1980, I believe. Okay, I think it was 1980 that this came into effect, that this fitness stuff started coming up there. So for I don't know how many years you had vehicles, used vehicles, being bought and sold and put on the road for a number of years, okay, before they started this. All right. So they're in this Dodge Caravan, they're talking about the integrity, okay, this or anything rusting uh, in here, integrity. I mean, my way of thinking is if there was holes in the bottom of the vehicle and you're going to get exhaust fumes in the vehicle, that's unsafe, okay? But that's not what we're talking about here, okay? We're talking about the integrity of this vehicle so that the passengers inside the vehicle are going to be safe if there's an accident. Okay. Let's go a little further. They brought out the seatbelt law. Well, did you know that seatbelts cause internal injury in a serious accident? If you're wearing your seatbelt, it's going to cause you internal injury. Or what about the airbags? When the airbags go off, if your hands are in the wrong way, it'll rip your freaking hand off. Okay? There was a case where a child was in a child carrier in the front seat. Okay, seat belted and all this. The airbag goes off and blew off half the friggin' child car seat thing and everything. It was, put on the news and everything that this airbag went off and caused damage. So you've got seat belts that cause internal injury. You got airbags that will do some injury. You know, if you get into an accident, it's going to cause injury. Okay. But we're talking about the marketplace for putting on used and old cars. I mean, like, if you buy a used car, it's going to probably have rust. And you take a look in Montreal or out there in that area, they use salt on the roads. Okay. It's going to eat that car out like crazy. Okay. But this isn't right across the car. This is only on the sides of the car, these rocker panels, okay? The rust is only on the sides of the vehicle where just underneath the doors, okay? That's where this rust is happening, okay? Not across the frame or the body, just on the sides. So let's go a step further. The government allowed these cars into this country, unibody frames, okay? And I tell you, I had a K car at one time, worst car ever, and the front left tire broke off the frame. Okay, that was it for that car. You can't replace or can't fix it. Okay, it's done. It's throwaway car. I didn't know that when I bought this stupid fucking car. Okay, there was another one. Now these Dodge Caravans, unibody. Oh, red lights are going off here. And then we got into, well, what is actually the problem here? Okay, because we're not around the tire areas, we're around the sides. Uh, okay, this here, Sylvia, yeah, but this is only on the sides. This is not anywhere else. It's like right under the doors. Okay. I could post pictures about this after. Okay, but the rust is right under the doors. It's not anywhere else, just under the doors, kind of thing. Where you know what I mean. So, how much of the integrity is actually compromised here? It's not through the whole body. It's just on these at these doors. So, I mean, as far as it going down the road, I mean, it's not going to break in half. I mean, does it become an unsafe vehicle by itself? Like, is it going to cause an accident? Is what I'm on. That would be the first thing. Is like, in my opinion, if something was unsafe and that it was going to cause an accident, okay, that would be something totally unsafe. Okay, no question about it. Okay, but if this thing goes down the road, is it going to cause an accident? Obviously not. Okay. If it gets into an accident, like somebody hits me, okay, maybe you could say, okay, because of that rust there, it could make that vehicle um, more weaker, I guess you could say. I mean, as far as being compromised, but as far as it doing something day to day on the road and not getting into an accident, it would be fine. Okay. And if you later on down the road wanted to, put some more money into it and have it done that way, I mean, instead of denying a person the right to use it, okay, if you gave a guy a note saying, okay, well, if you're going to use this, it'd be a good idea for you to get that fixed, right? But no, you don't have time to get this fixed, okay? They won't let you put it on the road, all right? Um, Fred Flintstone, I like that. We might just be driving Fred Flintstone cars in the future. Who knows? Um, but then look at the electric car, okay? This is the kind of insanity that really tops the list, okay? They want you to buy these electric cars. And they want to say, let's phase out all the gas cars by years such and such. All right. Now, what would that look like? First of all, these electric cars, you can't replace, I mean, you can't fix them. Okay. You get into an accident or something and you have it taken down to the SGI salvage yard. The SGI salvage yard has to pay somebody to come and take that thing away. Okay. Because it's not like, somebody's saying, okay, let's bid on so many cars and we're going to get them out of here and, whatever, you recrush them or whatever, make money on it. Okay. These electric car thing, this is a whole different ball game. And you take all the resources that it's taking out of the planet to build these stupid electric cars. And this whole idea is in Trudeau's head that that's what we should have, electric cars. What this amounts to is all this regulation and shit, okay, amounts to us, the poor people, not being able to afford to drive a vehicle. That's what it amounts to. Gone are the days where you could pick up a cheap car and use it, okay? Gone. That's the number one factor here, okay? Because before 1980, there wasn't any of this bullshit, okay? So they brought in these regulations, I guess because they knew what? The cars were going to be shit, okay? So you're paying for a new car like 60, 80 grand, okay? Brand new. You're signing your life away. That's $80,000, okay, or something, okay? You're going to sign your life away for this car. Okay. Now you've also got your rent, you've got your food, you got your gas, and all these new cars are not all perfect. They break down too. Okay. So if this thing breaks down as a kind of a lemon new car that you buy, there's also that cost as well. Okay. These cars are not cheap, right? Not everybody can afford a new car. And now not everybody can afford to get a car because you can't find any reasonable cheap cars anymore. Because they want like 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 10,000. Where are the cheap cars now? There is none. Okay. They're listing cars for parts because of this mechanical fitness stuff. Okay. Cars that could have been utilized now are no good unless, I mean, unless you call it parts or mechanic special or whatever you want to call it. But I mean, as far as getting a reasonable car now, no. Okay. We're screwed. We're screwed. Poor people are screwed. You may as well get a bike. I mean, that's not going to really work in the wintertime. So you're hooped again. You know, all these rules and regulations that they're coming out with are insane. And I mean, if you're talking about compromising the integrity of the vehicle on so the passengers don't get fucking crushed in an accident? Well, what about on a motorcycle? There is no integrity. Okay, you're on a motorbike. Okay, or what about if it was a convertible? You have no top except for front windshield. Okay, so what about that? You know what I mean? Like, where's the integrity for your head? You know, you got a convertible here. Okay, I mean, I mean, an accident is a very terrible thing. Okay, it's not a nice thing. Accidents are terrible, and that's why we have a standard. Okay, or try to have a standard of drivers that are out there following the rules of the road. Okay, the only reason that you should have an accident is because of really bad weather and it's really slippery and you happen to run into the other guy, or mechanical failure, brakes go out or something of that nature. Um, basically, those are the two major things that cause an accident. Okay. But what you have is undue care and attention, people stunting, people driving too friggin' fast for the conditions of the road, and the list goes on. And that's why we're having these accidents. Okay. Because people are not really paying attention, or they're driving too fast, or they're on the friggin' texting bullshit. Okay. You know what I mean? There's reasons for having an accident. It doesn't just happen out of the blue because today was going to be an accident. It's people that are not paying attention, okay, to what the fuck is going on. And that's what's causing the accident. Now, granted, accidents happen, but mostly because of stupidity. That's why accidents happen. So, the other side of the coin is the government allowed these cars to come into the marketplace, unibody, whatever the case, cheaper metal. The frames are the metal is different than what it used to be back in the 70s or the 80s or whatever. Okay, now they're using this cheap shit, okay, for metal on all these cars, okay? And then they want to talk about these cars' integrity? Are you serious? Let me tell you something, okay? Depending on the speed of this accident, okay, and so on, depends on the seriousness of how bad this accident is going to be. The faster you go, or the faster you're traveling, the harder you're going to hit, depending on how you're getting hit, where you're getting hit, okay? Depends on the severity of the accident, not how good the metal is. Because if you come at me at 80 miles an hour, it's going to crack up the same way, whether those rocker panels are fucking rusty or not. So all these fucked up regulations in this marketplace, along with bullshit fucking food, where is your standard? Okay. The standard should have been in the first place where you're not selling or allowing to be sold shit cars. Okay. That the metal is going to fucking break like crazy, like throwaway cars. Okay. Why would they be producing throwaway cars when these cars are costing $50,000 to $80,000? Why would this car be a throwaway car in 10 or 15 years for that kind of money that they're charging the consumer? Why would you want to have a vehicle on the market that in 10 to 15 years was going to be shit? Okay? Why? Why would you want to have that kind of vehicle put onto the marketplace? And now you look at today. with the rent that is up around $2,000, $2,500 a month, and people are putting out $4,000 to $5,000 a month to survive, and then you want to put on all this cost of the vehicle on top of it, and they are telling you, oh, in such and such a year, we want to abandon all these gas cars, okay, and make you drive electric. And if electric isn't going to work, well, then let's scrap all the cars and make you drive a fucking bicycle because of climate change. What I'm trying to get through to you is that we, the people, are allowing this shit to take place in government, like these bullshit rules. Okay, these are bullshit rules. When it comes right down to it, if you get into a serious accident, you're going to end up going through the same fucking thing, whether I put new rocker panels in that fucking van or not. If it was a high speed accident, you're going to get the same fucking results. If it was a low speed accident, you're going to get the same fucking results. There's going to be no difference here. This is a con job. That's what it is. It's a con job so that the mechanics make money. The government looks like it's doing their job when they're not. I mean, they don't even put a standard into the brakes, okay, the brake pads onto vehicles, okay? They make this a great big fucking mess for you to go down, to travel down this fucking mess road. And where, I mean, these guys are, what is the training with these mechanics that they can put a shit set of brake pads on a vehicle that shouldn't be on there for that application because it's a 1-ton chassis, right? I mean, with a 40-foot motorhome on it, okay, and a vehicle in the back, okay. And these mechanics, they put on the cheapest fucking pads they could find, and charged me a different rate for these fucking pads, only to find out that these pads were no good for that application. So I had to have the pads switched out to a better set of pads. Okay, another $400. So this mechanic thing, what they're doing is they're milking it. Okay, they're milking this, and they're trying to say even the mechanics will get into the coziness of the SGI guy. Okay, oh, these rocker panels they got justify their shit. Okay, you know what I mean? They got to justify their shit. Okay, with being the inspector for SGI, and gotta say to you, yeah, this has to be done. That I can't pass it. Blah 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 blah, because blah 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 blah. And who's paying for it? We are, the people. Okay? This wasn't happening before 1980. Now, by 1980, back to when cars first came out and hit the road, okay? All those years, all of a sudden, now they got to say, well, let's do a mechanical fitness. If I'm driving a vehicle and the brakes feel shitty, or the steering wheel feels shitty, or the signal lights, whatever, or something doesn't feel right, I get it fixed. Okay? If there's a serious fucking accident where somebody comes in, say, for example, hits me head on, okay, which has happened, okay, I walk away from it, okay? I lived. But if it was something seriouser, where I'm going to end up in a coma or be a vegetable the rest of my life, I think I would sooner, let it go and just die. Okay. I don't think I would want to go through life as a vegetable. Okay. Or in a coma or something. I mean, what would be the purpose of bringing a person back to life only to be fully compromised and you can't look after yourself? Now, what is the purpose of that? And here they've got maid out there. Okay, now they justify this maid. Okay, and they're gonna drown you to death. Okay, or they're gonna hit you with a COVID shot that's gonna kill you anyway, or some other form of fucking thing that they can do to you, like deny you good food. That if you're gonna try to buy good food, you're gonna pay the price, right? You go try and drink some juice, like juice with no additives or whatever, just juice constant. You know what I mean? $10. You try to eat healthy, and it's big money, right? So you really think that it's about them keeping you safe, right? I mean, there's so many areas to cover here with this. It's not just cars, okay? It's the food, it's COVID shots, it's all these other things, high rent, okay? Enormous bill, okay? Being put on all Canadians in all these different forms, all right? It's not just rent and it's not just cars, it's not just food, it's a whole number of things. And when you add it all up, it adds up to a big fucking problem in our country. And we've been asleep at the wheel. And now we've got a big, massive migration problem on top of it. Right? Where the government, here's the other brainstorm the government had. We're going to bring in lots of migrants, even though we don't have housing for them or jobs for them. Well, bring them in anyway. But what about the Canadians that were already here? What about them? Anybody stop to think about what was going to happen when you find out, well, there's so many people now in the country, there's no jobs, okay? Because your standard, they're going to work for less money than what you used to work for, right? They're going to snag up your jobs, right? Because they live in a group, some of them. They pool their money. We didn't used to do that. Never did that anyway. I'm not pooling my money with anybody. If I go to work, it's 35, 40 bucks an hour or whatever, right? Right? I don't take a cut after 40 years of trucking. Oh, I'm going to work for 15 bucks an hour now. So, you think the government is really out there helping you, setting good standards out there for you? I beg to differ. I beg to differ. I think that, people, it's up to us, Canadians, to all start realizing what the hell is going on here in our country. Because it's not good, all right? Trudeau is pushing us to the brink of war in the Ukraine fiasco, dumping billions of dollars into Ukraine, trying to start a fight with Russia. Billions of our dollars, our tax dollars, went over to Ukraine to supply them with hardware to support the war effort. You think Ukraine is going to win against Russia? No, no. And then it's going to be drawn out to a lot, bring in other countries into the battle theater. Okay. Well, we'll call on support from U.S. or we'll call on support from blah blah blah. Right? Broaden the aspect. Right? So they all gang up on Russia. Well, wait a minute here. Wait a minute. Russia has just, you know, increased and doubled up its war machine. It's got connections to China. There's China. That's a war machine. So all this stupidity that's been showing, not only in the war effort, but in the marketplace, it shows you Canada. Okay? Shit's got to get fixed. And it's the people that got to fix it, not the crooked politicians. That's the whole point, really. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to do some Q&A here. I don't know. Yeah, they're taking our jobs. Exactly. The government is paying them 70% of our tax dollars are going to pay towards these migrants coming into Canadian jobs. The government pays 70% of their wages. The company makes a little deal with the government to pay less money for that employee. Okay. And there goes your Canadian jobs. Right? And people are just sitting back saying da 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 da, like it's a okay, yeah, I see, yeah, okay, yeah. It's insane because it's us the people that has to fix it, not the cricket politician. Okay, us the people. What do you think the broadcast is all about? Broadcast is to make you aware that shit's happening. Lots of shit's happening in our country. Okay, and we can't leave it up to cricket politicians to fix it. It has to be us. So, anyway, any more vehicles I buy, I'm going to have a mechanical fitness along with that. I'm not going to buy anything unless there's mechanical fitness involved. So now they're going to jack up the price some more, because of that, because that's what I'm going to ask. Otherwise, I guess I go without a vehicle. Now, if they're going to jack up the price based on the fact I'm going to ask for a mechanical fitness, okay, they're going to jack it up to $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. So there is no more cheap cars anymore because of this fiasco bullshit that we allow to happen to us, where these so-called standards come into play, and everybody thinks, "Oh, that's a great idea. Let's let's agree with it." So by agreeing to it, now poor people can't afford cheap cars anymore. That's what I've seen. That's what I'm. That's what I'm running to. There is no more fairness to this. If, you know, that's going to be the case, well, then I may have to go to a body shop now, maybe, I guess, and have this fixed somehow. Somehow try and get this fixed as cheaply as I can get it fixed. And then go to town again on them. So this is going to take up more money and more time, and I'm still screwed. And I still have to get my trailer yet out of one place to another. And I wanted to get that done. But now I guess I got, Jesus Christ. So I've got to, I think my next thing is the fridge in my motorhome because it's not working. And if I'm eating out too much, then that's going to cost me too much money. So I'm going to have that looked at next. And then I've got to figure out something about this van, either sell it or try get another one, a vehicle or something of that nature or something. I don't know. But I got to figure out something. So that's the way it is. Anyway, guys, I think that's a mouthful for now. Food for thought. And it is what it is. So for now, because I mean we're nowhere close to being able to fix anything. We don't have the massive numbers of people needed to fix the country. But I'm putting it out there. These are problems that we have in this country. Poor people cannot survive hardly in this country now because of all of this shit. We are making it so that unless, I mean, it's made now that unless you have a job that's going to pay you like close to 10 grand a month, you're not going to make shit. All you're going to do is pay your bills, and that's it. You're not going to have any money left over at the end of the month. Okay? You're going to keep repeating this cycle, and as you go, you're going to fall into these little pit holes that the government's out there to hold their hand out for the victimless crimes that they've got going on. Okay? So you're going to end up running into these little pitfalls like a speeding ticket or some other fucking shit. Okay? All this shit is laid out there waiting for you. And it costs more money. The whole goddamn thing is rigged so that you spend and spend and spend. And if you don't want to spend and you're trying to save and hold back, fuck it. They'll come out with some more standards that you're going to spend. Because if you don't, you're not going to drive, right? No transportation, right? Can't get to and from work, right? So they got you by the balls when it comes down to it, right? Unless we get together and fix it somehow. Okay, guys, that's it for now. And don't forget, if you want to send in a donation of $35, you'll get the Ruddi Bruce broadcast mug. And $20 will get you a pen, a Ruddi Bruce broadcast pen. And you can send that in to, I'll put it up here, my email that you can send it into by e-transfer. And I will get it. And make sure that you get a hold of me in Facebook Messenger so that I get your address so that I could send that to you. Okay? So don't forget. And we've got some mail outs to get done here still. But we're going to get on that pretty quick too. So, okay, guys. I think we're going to cut it there. It's been a long friggin' day and I'm really tired. And we'll just leave it at that. And I will be back to see you on Monday, 6 o'clock. Monday. Today is Friday. So we're going to be off for a couple of days getting this shit figured out. So, okay, until then, guys, thanks for joining the broadcast and having a listen. And food for thought. Beware. Until next time, I'm just getting the word out there.